Good afternoon. This is the Senior Services Advisory Board meeting. We have all but one member present. She will be
She's on her way
coming
in the door.
shortly. Oh, here she is now. So, yes, we are being officially recorded as a meeting tonight. So everyone has a copy of the agenda. If we would just take a minute and look over the agenda, let me know if you have anything that you want to add to it. Her mic's on.
It's on, was on.
It was, she turned it off.
I'll call for approval of the agenda. All those in favor of the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We'll approve the agenda. A review of the minutes. Kim has provided us with the copy of the minutes from last month's meeting. If you just take a minute and look over those, and then we'll review them.
It's a double-sided paper. Thank you
You all
for
right?
saving me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got that on record.
I've always said somebody was gonna do that, but I've never seen it happen.
I saw Joe Benzie fall flat on his face that one night at the Park Lake Advisory Board meeting. It was terrible. It was very frightening. Any additions or corrections to the minutes? I move the approval of the minutes. Is there a second?
I second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Dennis, did you want to give a treasurer's report today?
Yes,
Thank you.
I will be, have a more official treasurer's report. I spoke with the treasurer just today, and I will be receiving printouts like I used to get for income and expenses of the senior center. So I'll be able to start keeping track of that again.
Fantastic.
And I'll also be able to report on the Kenny and Dolly income and expenses.
Fantastic. Jennifer, I think, will be very cooperative in that, as she's eager to see that her accounting is right. And we do have an account, a separate account in the budget. So it is not, our funds are not intermingled. I've looked at the audit, and I know that our funds are separate in
Oh,
the
the
budget.
senior.
I've seen the audit, and I know that they are kept in a
good.
separate
That's
account.
good
We
to
are
know.
not, our funds are not intermingled with anyone else.
So
I
do we
also-
have a current balance?
What's on here right now? Not until I get my.
He hasn't had a chance to meet with Jennifer yet.
So
Yeah,
the
I met-
building usage fees are not going in there right now? Or haven't been going in there?
It's my understanding that they do not go in there. Building usage fees.
They never, I don't know about that. I'll have to wait until I get the printouts to find
Do you
out.
know where they're going?
I don't. I will know after I get the printouts. I haven't gotten the printouts yet. I just spoke to her today.
But will the printouts tell you that they're not going in there, or will they tell you where they are going?
If I asked for the right account printouts, I'll know.
Then you'll know, okay.
If it's not, doesn't appear on my printouts, I might have to go and ask her directly.
If they're not on the printout that's provided to us as part of the balance, then the senior center usage fees are probably not going to the senior center account that we have for programs and services. That is, for programs and activities and expansion, that's different from any of the other parts of the township budget. I would assume that the usage fees are going right into the general fund budget for utilities, which are used, but I have no idea, so we'll ask Dennis to ask Jennifer, and she can find out for us.
Right. I also spoke with her. Picked up a couple additional cash boxes for us to use for the Dolly Kenny concert. And we worked out how I'm going to drop off the money at the end of the evening, so nobody has to store it at their house or anything. We've got it all set up for a drop here.
Fantastic, we need that, that's very good, thank you so much. Anyone have questions for Dennis? Well, I think that's great, and I hope that we can have that report by the next the next time we meet in May. I think that's May 17th. So that would be a goal, a good goal to set for that. That'd be great. Public comment. Cindy, would you like to make a comment?
Yeah, last month at public comments, I'd asked about reports from the directors and the cooks on how many people are attending, how many people are being served. You folks had said that you are not receiving those reports, but you believe that Karen is. I think those are vital for this board to see. I don't know who would like to get with Karen and get those. Those have always been a part of this meeting. And just like I sat here and listened to Ryan try to not approve the architectural design based on the fact that he hasn't seen numbers. Well, it's not this group's fault that he's not seeing numbers. If Karen's getting them, they need to be shared, and if she's not getting them, she needs to get them. Because you've already seen what the opposition is gonna be moving forward. And I would suggest that somebody make sure that they're given out each month.
Just to respond to that, I started asking Karen for the information in January. I have not received it. I was promised the last time that she would have it to us by March 28th, and she hasn't provided it yet. I've also asked her if in the Friday report, we could have a weekly accounting of the programs and services and the meals served at the senior center. She said, no, that wouldn't be possible, that she would put it in there monthly. So she had it put in the last Friday report for the month of February, but it did not appear in the last report for the month of March. So I knew they do keep the numbers, they do track the numbers, but they are not sharing the numbers, and I'll discuss that later in the agenda. I hope you're still here for that.
Hopefully. Another thing, the question about building use fees, that goes back to the township, and it would be, if you look at the budget, it's a line item, rents. So anytime they rent the building, those funds go back to the township. And then the line item is called rents. And it's under the income, not the expenditures.
Right, and I did not request a printout for that, but I did see it on our budget report.
Yep.
Thank you.
Are we done with the public comment?
I'm done, yes.
Okay, I have the Flower Fund report, update.
Fantastic.
There is $186.16 in there. Do you want me to go back and pick up some of the Flower Fund recipients that did not get them, or go forward?
I would think that that would be up to a vote of the group. I think we just go forward. I think it's a little bit, I think going back and taking something to someone who's been out of the hospital for 6 weeks is probably better to just move forward. But what does the group think?
I agree.
I agree with moving
Yeah,
forward.
I agree.
Yeah, okay.
And I will try to be more efficient at my job. Thank you.
And just FYI, Paula Clark passed away on Monday.
Oh, no.
Paula Clark, she was our township supervisor for 4 years, was she not, Cindy, 4 years?
Probably 6.
It was
6
more
years.
than that,
She
yeah.
is actually the reason this board was created. When she
Yeah.
was elected, they were trying to put people on committees that they were qualified to be on, so they developed this one.
Right. So, I don't know, I've been looking at the Lansing State Journal for her obituary. It hasn't appeared in the paper yet. I reached out to Dwight, because, Dwight Washington and his mom and Paula were very close, and I thought Dwight might know, but Dwight's still not in town right now, so he wasn't able to help me. So I'm still looking for the information, but it was on Monday.
We do not do funerals.
But I just want you
Okay,
to know that.
but thank you
It's
for
just-
that information.
Yep. Old business, PR and outreach. We have asked since February of 2023 for meal guest passes in case we reach capacity and people are turned away without a meal, and that would be very embarrassing. We haven't come to that point yet, but I know we're getting close to that point. So in February, we asked for meal passes. Nancy and Taylor were supposed to be working on that When we met last month, Taylor had promised to, it was suggested that Taylor was going to go to the meal card that we have, the punch card we have, and use the design from the punch card and just make it a one-day pass. I haven't seen them, I haven't heard from her. I don't know if those are available yet. Monthly reports from staff.
Judy?
Jean?
They did turn people away in March on Meatloaf Day. People
they?
were turned away.
I was going to say, that has been an ongoing issue.
Oh, it
turning
has. I
people
mean,
away.
since-
Okay, you
since
said that we
Thanksgiving,
haven't
but
had to do
I
that
haven't
yet.
seen it myself.
I have seen it, and it's been an ongoing issue.
Yep. So we do need those passes, and,
I'm sorry, I thought those free lunch, or those one passes was for giving friends and neighbors a free lunch. Did not know that that was for people being turned away.
we had talked about having dual purposes for those passes. We really felt we needed to have passes when people were turned away and there wasn't enough food, that they could come back for a free meal. And then we, as a board, had suggested that we have friends and neighbors and associates in the community that we would like to invite to lunch, and we could use them for that purpose as well.
I guess I have not heard about getting out free passes for people being turned away, so,
We
okay,
can buy
sorry.
them too, right, and give them away?
Excuse,
sure,
oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you could use them as a gift card if you
Right.
wanted, yeah.
that would be good to have available to everybody.
So, we
Judy?
did,
We have a comment.
oh my gosh, Elaine,
Kelly will make them if you want to make.
I'm sorry?
Kelly could make those cards if you want them done.
I'm sure she could.
Yeah.
But it's an issue, it's this township's responsibility. This is a program of the township, it's their responsibility, and I think that we need to hold them to their responsibility, so, but thank you for the offer. I didn't see you walk in. You can come to the table if you like, that's really, just bring a chair right up to the table, it's fine. I like it better that way. So monthly reports from staff, the staff does turn in monthly reports, weekly reports, daily reports to the township office on meal serves, programs and activities. And as I was saying to Cindy, I started asking Karen for that in January. Again, she's been quite occupied with other things in the township, and she hasn't been able to provide us with those numbers.
Judy, excuse me, do we need to go to the Board of Trustees at this point?
I would be
It's-
glad to do that.
It's been too long.
I agree that we work for the Board of Trustees. We do not work for Karen. We are responsible to the Board of Trustees. I feel the same way, and I go before the Board of Trustees every time they meet. And I represent us with questions, issues, information. I feel that I can't do that alone. It's better if we voice those concerns together. And I would be happy to have you come to the Board of Trustees for the Senior Services Advisory Board and speak to them about these issues related to data. The issues related to data are more important now than they ever have been because it's grant time. And we can't apply for a grant from the township through the planning board for a community improvement grant without the data. We hardly got the architect. We are not provided with the data. We are bursting at the seams. I've invited every township board member to come to lunch. Sherry and Marie have come to lunch. No one else comes to lunch. If they would come to lunch, and they can even be served a vegetarian item if that's what they choose, because that's why one person refuses. Unless they come to lunch, they have no idea what we're dealing with. Unless they can see the numbers. And the numbers will show dramatic increase in our numbers for programs and services. And it will prove to them that we are outgrowing the building and it's now time to act. But unless other people come to the Board of Trustees and speak to them, they're tired of hearing me.
No, we're not tired, I'm not tired of hearing you. I'm tired of the lack of activity that we asked for. I went into the offices a couple months ago and I said I would like a rundown of the numbers, pre-COVID, COVID, post-COVID. I wanted to know the hours that people are being paid to work in there, how much they're being paid per hour, what are they doing? and I got one list of total salaries for the senior center. That's how much cooperation I get as a board member. So the frustration has built over the top, and I will go after them for this.
Well, it's, the data is, we
It's
can't move
needed.
forward we can't move forward without the data.
Right.
We know we're growing, and we know we're growing terrifically fast, and we know it is the result of all of the outreach that we have been doing. If you look at our number one or number two goal in our strategic plan, it is to do outreach. We have reached out to the churches. We have reached out to all the homeowners associations. We have reached out to every property taxpayer over the age of 65. We have had open houses. We have had invitations. We have had conversations. We have spread the word about the senior center throughout the township, and now more and more people are coming. So we're doing a great job. They just have to catch up with us. Nancy,
I saw 2 new people come in today.
I'm not surprised. On Monday, I saw about 4 new people I'd never seen before.
There was a lady that came in I'm sorry, there was a lady that came in this morning.
Great.
And got a menu and stuff when I was setting away for Nancy.
It's such a great program. It
Well,
really
we've done a
is.
terrific job with meeting our goals and objectives, and it's being proven in the attendance that we see at the senior center, and we're not getting the cooperation that we need from the township in order to prove our point. And,
Can I chime in or without?
sure,
Well, the last time we were at this point, as you all recall, that's when we expanded to 5 days a week. When we started hitting the max and turning people away, that's when we went 5 days a week.
Why aren't we now?
Karen cut it back to 3, is my understanding, without board approval, no discussion with the board. Changed the prices, cut 3 days a week. Cut staff hours, no board approval, no board discussion, and I don't believe the board really cared to be involved in it, they just let her do it. So if you're maxing out, you're turning people away, it may be time to go back to 5 days a week.
I
don't
asked Karen
think-
about that.
I personally don't think 5 days a week is a solution. Because if 5 days a week was not well attended any of the days. So if we keep it at 3 days and keep our attendance up, expand the senior center, handle more meals, I think that would be a better opportunity than going to 5 days. My personal opinion.
Well, we have to try it to see, is what I talked to
We
Karen
have
about.
tried the 5 days, and the numbers,
Post-COVID, though, it's like, I wonder.
it was pre-COVID.
Yeah, my wondering is, COVID sort of changed the world, and that's what I asked Karen about, is I wanted numbers pre-COVID, COVID, and now let's look at it and see, we don't really know what the curve is going to do. And I asked for this data, and now I'm going to scream for the data.
I think more importantly than 5 days a week, which could ultimately be our goal in the expansion and go to 5 days a week. I don't think that we can manage 5 days a week right now. I don't think we're prepared for that. I don't think we have the staff for that. We have an excellent staff. I don't think that we have the staff capacity to serve 100 meals a day, 5 days a week. But I think it's really important that as we move forward, we think about the fact that our program coordinator is being paid to work 26 hours a week, and she's in the center for 12. And I think that the most important thing that we could talk about is the importance of having the senior center program coordinator, who is being paid 26 hours a week, be in the senior center 26 hours a week. And that might give you, could give us the 5 days. She could be there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she could cover for 5 days and provide programs and services and activities, just not meals. So I think that getting the hours that we're paying her to staff that center should be paid in the office. I don't think that we any longer can afford the luxury of working at home. We are no longer suffering from COVID.
Right.
Anyone else have anything to say?
Were you at?
Okay, so, services and activities, has anyone heard from Jenna about her plans for the next month, or what's happening for Mother's Day, or if we're having picnics in the park in the summer? Do we know how many people have been attending the programs and services? Our antique appraisals, or Meals for One. I think she's been doing a lot of additional activities, But I don't know and have not seen any reports. I'd like to see those as well. Does anyone else have any?
Judy, what
know
she's
anything?
doing is double booking. She's booking activities when an activity is already going on. So then that causes the people that are at one activity, they can't participate in the other one. Now, I know the ukulele was scheduled at 1 o'clock, and why she can't schedule the other activities at 1 o'clock, why she has to schedule them at 10 or 10:30 when there's already an activity going on, then those people can't participate. So I would ask that she not double book activities.
Jean, can I ask you, at Hand and Foot, what is the maximum you've had?
Having what?
What is the maximum you've had at Hand and Foot?
Number of players.
The most.
We've had 4 tables, so we've had 6, the maximum probably 16 or 20 people.
No, there are a lot of people who come in and play hand-and foot. I have no idea. I assume she thinks, well, they're doing something in the back of the building. It doesn't matter if we do something in the front of the building.
That's
But your
Those
concern
people
is that
can't participate.
she's not respecting the fact that the people who are playing hand and foot might want to learn how to cook for one, or might want to have their antiques appraised. She's not being considerate of what other things are happening at the same time. So, well, that's a management thing, and that's walking a thin line. I don't know that we can make that suggestion. Karen is in charge of managing the senior center, so I imagine that asking Jenna to respect the wishes of others in the center when activities are going on might be a bit much for us, but she'll see that on the recording and she'll hear what you're saying, so that's important as well. Anything else on activities? I saw the other day when I walked in there, maybe it was Wednesday, maybe it was today, that there were bunches and bunches of diapers hanging out by the front door. Does anyone know if she's maybe partnering with another
Somebody came and took those.
diaper bank? I wonder if
They
she,
moved them to another place because I asked about them, because they were too small for most of the people.
oh, good, maybe they went to the baby diaper bank or something, good.
No, I don't think they're that small, but.
Oh.
Yeah, just in the really small sizes.
Okay, let's move on now to the event and the tribute show. Kim and her team have done a phenomenal job. I've never seen a group work so well together or accomplish so much in such a short period of time. And I greatly appreciate the leadership that Kim has brought to the team. Thank you. I'm going to turn this over to you now, Kim.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks to everybody that's been pitching in and helping us out. We needed all of everybody's opinion to be a success, and I feel like we've been a big success. Let's get started. All right, I'm going to start with advertising. We wanted 15 yard signs. We had to order them in increments of 10 in order to get the better price. So we have 10 signs out front, or spread out. We all decided where we were going to put them. I think they're in really great locations. Unfortunately, I didn't get a proof on the signs. They just ordered them. The company that we used has the signs ordered third party, and I found I called like 8 different printers to get sign quotes, and it seems like that's how most of them do these kind of signs, is they outsource them. So I made a phone call to the contractor that we used, the vendor that we used, and he said he will get back with me on that. And he understood exactly what I was saying, because in my email, I asked them specifically for input on the fonts and the colors and any other suggestions they had, and they didn't offer that for me.
So are you asking him for a partial refund?
After the event, when we settle in with the bill for the whole project, yeah.
Okay.
I just told them we weren't happy with the product, and it was gotten back to me that it's not readable, and, they should have done better with that. I said that the whole process with flyer and the tickets was awesome, super, and then somehow this one fell through the cracks with the ordering. So he's gonna get back with me. So this handout that I gave to you is what is in the City Post today. We got a third page ad. It's pretty impressive. Sweet. So if you guys want to pass it on and look at it, I'd ask them to change a little bit at the bottom. We didn't have time to look at it as a committee. The deadline was too quick, and I think it's okay. I think it's good. So thanks to the township, we're a full page in the newsletter. This is an awesome presentation to all of the Bath Township residents, and we were also in the sewer bill too. They advertised for us, so that was amazing.
And Karen does pitch it at the board meetings, in her superintendent's report.
Oh, great. Yeah, and it's on their Facebook pages. And, yeah, the magazine, just a second. And then Dennis has the magazine. Oh, I put that in part of your handout, was the article that was in the magazine.
I don't know if any of you get East Lansing Living. I have an East Lansing address, even though I'm in
No,
Bath
it's not
Township,
in
so I
here.
get this. And we have a nice article. It's this and here.
Dennis calls me up about 2 days before the deadline and says, can you write an article?
It was tax season, so I couldn't write it, so. So Judy wrote it, and I edited it, but I got the byline. Sorry, Judy.
What is that again?
This is East Lansing Living.
Okay.
And what I originally called them was to get us on the calendar of events, which we are also in the calendar of events that they have.
It goes to every East Lansing resident.
So we're in their calendar of events, and then at that point, she said, well, will you write an article about your senior center? So she did that for us. So I'll pass this around so everyone can take a look.
Sweet, thank you.
We've also put this on community calendars across the region. So like they're in radio, television and other community calendars. It was on Facebook the other day.
That's the article.
Also, with the East Lansing Living, they asked me if I would do a follow-up after the concert. They would like to do a follow-up article. So we'll actually have another.
You can put
article.
my name on that one.
I will.
That was you, huh?
I didn't touch it this time.
You can turn your mics back on. It's just, they're very sensitive to movement and.
Okay.
Okay, Kim?
So I've also handed out the verbiage that's dated April 13th for the Duke radio advertising. And the blue paper shows all of the ads that they're going to put in for us. That started on Monday. The City Pulse was released today, and it's going to be in the paper. It's a weekly paper. Next week, we're going to have a free ad, so that'll be in there the week before the event. So for 2 weeks, we'll be in the City Pulse. Of course, it won't be the nice big ad that we have this week.
It's also been on the billboard out front.
Oh, yeah, it's
Electric.
been on the electric billboard for a while now. It's been great, too. So, Dennis, you said that we're on concessions now. You said you got some cash boxes?
Yes.
Did you get?
I got 2 additional cash boxes, so we now have 3. The one that we're using at the senior center, and then 2,
We have 3.
you have cash boxes available? Okay, so we're all set on cash boxes. And as I said, I worked
But
out
they're
with.
not loaded?
No,
Weren't they gonna load them for us, so we had change to work with?
I didn't ask that.
Okay, I thought we were supposed to have
Last
at
time I
least.
just did it.
We do ours before we leave for a show.
I just did it last time. I just put the change in there and then got paid back at the end.
So we're loading them ourselves? Okay.
Who's going to take responsibility for that, Dennis? how much money is in each one, what, so we'll have to say Cashbox one is $100 and what the denominations are or something, so that we have a receipt of what we'll start with and.
Right.
So we needed 2 boxes for concessions.
We need 3.
We need 3 for concessions. We need 1 for will call. And we need 1 for the evening of ticket sales.
Silent auction.
Can't the will call, but
And we need,
Be the
An
same.
auction, yeah, that's right.
and we need silent auction. How many do we need for silent auction? 1? Okay, because I thought that I came up with that we needed 5, but that totals 6.
Well, you only need 1 for will call and selling tickets.
that's
Well,
gonna be the
there's
same
gonna,
window.
will call's gonna be separate. I thought we were just gonna have
Well,
somebody.
originally, we're gonna have will calls separate, but right now, I don't think we have very many will call tickets, do we? That, I don't know.
There's a few in there, but there's not a whole lot.
I just sold 2 will calls on Monday.
Can we talk about that a little bit? The will call?
Yeah, we're going to at tickets.
Do you want to do that? Should I do that? I mean, do you want to do that? You can do it, but we should talk about that right now.
Right now.
No, I'm just saying, we're on the radio, right? And so the radio PSA says, call the township office, and this is Tom King Junk Days. And so, leading up to it. So the township office will take those calls, and they will pass them to the senior center. And let's say I'm calling for tickets. I want 2 tickets, so she'll say, Judy Gardy, 2 tickets, and she'll clip them and put them in the will call folder, and then I'll pick them up the night of the show, because I work 9 to 5, I can't get here to pick up tickets. So that's why I think that the will call box and the ticket window just needs 1 cash box. Too confusing to make 2.
Is that how it's gonna work? How is it gonna work? Somebody calls in for a ticket,
Go ahead.
they go directly to the ticket person or not?
I don't understand your
Well,
question, I'm sorry.
I understood will call was only the tickets that were already paid for. Am I mistaken?
Yes.
The will call is only for tickets that are paid for,
No, you're mistaken.
okay? Then what is will call? I mean,
We,
if someone calls up and says, I want some tickets, do they automatically get them for $20 then, instead of,
Yes.
if they
Yes.
pay that night, 25?
They've called-
what we ran into is a problem with, when the ad hit the radio on on Monday. There was some people that called and said, we want tickets, but we work full-time, we can't get to the township during business hours, what do we do? So it was decided at that point, that between Judy and myself, what do we do? How do we serve this audience? Because Karen responded to my email about it and said that you cannot pay for tickets with a credit card over the phone. We are not going to do that. So I said, well, that's going to affect a lot of people. Possibly we have to solve this problem. So we decided we would call it a will call transaction. So if somebody calls up and they want tickets, I will hold tickets with their name and paper clipped in the binder where there's a will call
Section.
pocket. Yes, thank you. And then they will pay and get the $20 rate the night of the show. So what's happened is, and I didn't even realize this until yesterday, that Jenna and Linda are not selling our tickets, that we're selling our tickets at the table at lunchtime, and we're supposed to supply staff there, and when the office is open from 10 to 2 to sell the tickets. I thought we were told we had it covered during lunchtime when Linda and Jenna were their busiest, between 11:30 and 1, and that's what I've been trying to staff. Okay, but from what Karen says, this is not for them to sell our tickets. It's our event, we are to sell our own tickets. And not only that, but the staff is gonna be inundated with phone calls the week before Tom King Junk Day, which unfortunately, we schedule our event that same day, and they don't wanna take the calls, and especially not calls for will call tickets, where they have to actually take the ticket out, paper clip it, put somebody's name in it, and put it in that pocket. So what Karen's decided generously to do is to have Linda work Monday, Wednesday, Friday a bit longer so that the township staff can transfer a will call, phone call to her, or any call, I'm assuming, to Linda. And then Linda, I put together a sheet for her. It's right here where it shows just the
question.
date and the name and their phone number, how many tickets that they need, and then she will put the little slip of paper with their name on it, and then put it in the will call pile. Anyway, so what's been going on with me is I got 3 different people calling my cell phone and texting me, asking me about all these questions about the tickets. And so now I'm at home texting strangers and trying to figure out what their inquiries are, and they said, somebody gave me your phone number. So now I have this
The
list.
township has been giving out.
I have this list at home too, and this is what we're doing, is we're just paper clipping and we're putting what date and the person's name on it, and then they're going into the binder.
Well, and if that's our procedure, will call should be a separate window.
We only have one window.
Well,
I don't think we need a separate
What we
window.
talked about was just me bringing a TV tray and a folding chair and having somebody sit in a quiet spot right by the front door with a will call in front of them. Like I did this sign for silent auction, I did one for will call too. So that, you know, it's indicated. I don't know how inundated we're gonna be with ticket sales. I think it's fine to do a will call at the ticket booth, but I don't know.
Question. So Karen is gonna give Linda more hours when our director is working from home doing what?
Well,
Okay, I know you can't answer that,
I
I'm
really
sorry.
don't know how, I just know Linda said that, I don't know if she's working till 5 o'clock. I just know that Linda told me that Karen supported, her getting more hours in order to help us with the will call, telephones.
So she's adding those hours.
But
So I'm not sure.
now, isn't it a fact, though, that Linda's not actually selling the tickets? She's referring them to you.
No.
So people come,
No, she is referring them to me. She's gonna take a picture of that form, or she's going to email me, however she decides that she wants to, and then I have to follow up with it. With the folding of the paper and putting them in that,
my thoughts.
No, that's what Linda is supposed to do. That's what they're paying her to do.
no, Karen's email says she will give you the information, Kim, the information. She'll forward the information to Kim. It says that in the email.
I got a Post-it note from Jenna with a name and a phone number. And I tried to call the person, and their mailbox was full. I didn't, so by the time I texted the person, they had already talked to Kim.
Because Jenna had emailed me, so Jenna had duped who got the information. And then this lady emails or texts me and says, who's this person that's contacting me? I don't know what's going on here. So I'd already made the sale, so to say, and then there was a bit of a confusion there. So yes, Karen is supposed to either, Linda is supposed to either take a picture of the list that I put together for her, and just send it to my cell phone, because my cell phone's in the binder. And I've also put at the top of the information list my email, or she can email me the information. It's to her
I
prerogative.
see that. I did reread that email. That is what she
Yeah,
said. That's
she's
what-
not wanting Linda to do
No.
anything but transfer information.
Just give you
Mm-hmm,
the voicemails.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to make a comment about this, but it's really sad that 3 years ago, all the work that Kim and the committee are doing was done by a paid staff person. And there's no recognition of the work that we're doing to get this event on, or assistance from the paid staff to help us do it. And my personal opinion is that's pathetic.
It's worse than pathetic.
Anyways. Go on, Kim, sorry.
Okay, so while we're on tickets, we've sold, the Township Hall has only sold 23 tickets. And what did we decide? We've sold about 70 at the senior center. And And the entertainers wanted me to touch base with them a week to 2 weeks before the event, let them know how many people were coming in, how things were. And I told them that, you know, we've spent a lot of money in advertising, we've done our very best, absolutely our very best, and we have minimal ticket sales. And he said, not to fret about that, that's typical, and that we'll all be surprised the last 2 weeks of the event, how many tickets we'll sell. Duke FM is our perfect advertiser because they promote, their genre is old country, and that's what Denny and Kenny and Dolly are. And they basically told Judy that they think they'll sell 300 tickets for us. So if that happens, it's terrific.
Do you have enough tickets?
Beg your pardon?
Yeah, there's 476 tickets, and there's some overflow seats, 14 overflow seats too. So, and Karen also said there's not to be any credit card sales over the phone. I think I already said that. At the Board of Trustees meeting on Monday, Judy made sure to let them know that it would be a really good thing if they weren't interested in Kenny and Dolly to still purchase some tickets to be able to donate to the patrons at the senior center that can't afford to go that want to go.
Shirley, no.
Shirley Garrett.
Garrity told me today that if you know of anybody that needs a ticket, she will gladly pay for it.
And I also have 2 donated tickets that someone also bought and are giving back.
Thank you.
So how are you going to decide who gets those?
I know, I kind of thought about that too. How do we do that? I'm not
So
sure.
put numbers in a hat, put people's names on them and draw them.
Or just word of mouth and quietly offer the ticket instead of it being a big production
Well, maybe
of.
somebody that comes to the senior center and can't go.
No, that's
But how
what
do you
I
find
would
out?
assume, that those would be the people that we would give the tickets to. I think that we need to find out, you know, maybe have a, I don't know how to do it. We'll have to.
For Elvis, we did, it was low-income people who couldn't afford a ticket. I believe you were one of them, there were 2 people listed that did that, Judy, and I don't remember.
Do you
who
still
else.
have the punch card system?
Yes.
For meals, we do.
Those would be people I would start with if I were you.
That's an idea.
Everybody buys punch cards.
No, they're talking about free lunches.
Oh,
But there's
free-
no difference between the punch cards. We wouldn't know a
No.
low-income
Jenna
patron from.
knows. Jenna will know.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Linda.
And Linda would know, too.
She's not- She doesn't help us, so.
What if we made an announcement that we have 2 or 3 or how many donated tickets we have, and they will be chosen, their names will be put, for people that would like to go?
Put your name in a hat.
Do it at the very end, though, don't do it up front, because some people won't buy a ticket thinking I'm gonna win.
Right.
You know, if they're teetering on buying one or not, you know, do I wanna spend this money to go, and they might hold off hoping to win.
I don't know, is that embarrassing to someone to have their name in a low-income hat?
It doesn't necessarily.
I don't want
need to be drawn up
anybody-
that way, does it?
Just free tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some free tickets if
Yeah.
people need them.
So where do we want to do this? Like, if I bought 2 tickets over there right today, where do we have a place to put them functionally?
Just have another pouch for them or something.
Yeah, there's
Donated tickets.
extra pouch that we could, well, you could put it in the will call too and just put donated on it.
But,
So are you going to give?
I've
the-
also been selling tickets at assisted living facilities. I've sold tickets at Independence Village. They're bringing a bus, Timber Ridge is bringing a bus. Edgewood Village is bringing a bus.
When do we know those numbers?
I have to pick the tickets up. I haven't gotten the tickets yet.
So this is kind of a dual topic. We're still talking about tickets, but part of what we're trying to do as a committee is to expand the senior center, and we've talked about visiting senior centers, senior centers. So what I've done recently is I got a hold of 8 different senior centers that are local, and came up with 3 that I think would be good for us to visit. And one of them is East Lansing Prime Time, and Meridian Senior Center. Judy and I went to a senior center directors monthly meeting in Williamston yesterday, and it was an amazing meeting of some really great gals that are just networking and talking about the different activities that they're offering, and they're having combined trips with all the area senior centers so they can fill a bus. Talked about going to a Detroit Tigers game, talked about going to Roderick Meyer Gardens. All kinds of great things. It was just so fun to be full of, around energy of positive thinkers, and we just really felt blessed being there. And we also heard that Jenna has attended 2 of those meetings in the last year that she's been here, so Karen didn't seem to know what I was talking about when I was asking permission for us to attend, so I'll get with Karen further on that at another point. Anyway, I took some pictures, and it was just a bright, bubbly place, and and in talking to the gal at Eaton Area Senior Center, this is in Charlotte, and I've got pictures off from their website. It's a beautiful building, and she really is encouraging us to go out there and see them. And what they do is they're completely independent as far as paying their own expenses from anyone, and they rent their facility out. And they're having what she called one of their major fundraisers next Tuesday. It's called a High Roller Raffle. And she really would like us to come and see how that is presented and put together, and encourage us to be there. So what I've got is East Lansing Primetime said that Thursday, tomorrow, would work well for a visit. And Meridian Senior Center said that Friday is typically quiet, and it would be a good day for us to go see them. And then Tuesday out at Charlotte at Eaton Area Senior Center. So anyone that's interested in going to those senior centers, just let me know, because I haven't nailed down a time. They are pretty open to when we go, so I just wanted to be flexible in having anyone that wants to attend make it meet your schedule, and then I'll email them tonight and let them know what our ideas are.
Kim, to go back on the donated tickets, did we make a decision on what to do and how to pass those out?
Yeah, I wrote down, put a name in a hat. If you're interested in getting a free ticket, just say it's a free ticket. And at the end of when it gets closer, I don't want to do it the day before, but like maybe next Wednesday, pull out however many donated tickets we have, and we'll give
So
away
are
as
we
many
going to
as we
make an
can.
announcement on Friday and Monday?
Yeah.
You
At
don't
the
want to
senior
make it
center?
that early though, do you? Like Cindy was saying, you've got people that won't buy tickets because they think they might get a free ticket. So you don't
No,
want to,
people
say
that
it too
Only
early.
have
Now, you're gonna,
2 or 3.
I think people that are going to buy tickets that
already
attend the
done it.
senior center have already done it.
Because they've been on sale for almost 2 months
Yeah.
at this point. They're not going to wait until 2 days before if they had the money to buy them. I wouldn't think.
Dana?
I'm just thinking that you need to tell people. You need to let people know that it's for low income, that can't afford the tickets to be free, because if you're pushing me to buy tickets and then you're gonna give away free ones, well, I just bought my ticket. Now I don't have a chance.
I totally disagree with that.
I think they need to
totally
be,
agree with you 100%.
they
I
need to
agree
be
with
for
it, too.
everybody, because people that are low income are not going to single themselves out and put their name in a hat.
embarrass themselves. Yeah, that's how
Well,
I
they
think.
single themselves, I don't mean that, they get free lunches and no one knows about that, so why would anyone know about them getting into a,
Because we're putting their name in a hat and
well, they
drawing
don't
it
have
out.
to do it.
If you've got a hat and it's been announced that if you're low income, you put your name in that hat and you walk up to the hat with your name in your hand, that is an embarrassing thing.
I think
If we go and we say, we've had 6 donated tickets for anyone that, is interested in a free ticket.
Hasn't been
please
able
put
to
your name
afford
in
to
the hat.
buy a ticket.
I don't think we have to say that.
I do.
I think that's
It
putting
doesn't,
a
we don't have
label
to
on
say
the
if you're low
person
income, but if you
involved.
haven't been able to afford a ticket and you need one, we've got some donated tickets, put your name in a hat. We'll do the drawing on Friday.
I don't think you've ever been in the position of being a low-income person.
I
That's-
have.
But Judy, people are not going to single themselves out. They're not going to.
That's why I didn't say low income, I said if you can't afford a ticket.
That's, well, if you can't afford a ticket is kind of the same thing.
I don't think so, but
So how are other people gonna know that you put your name in the hat?
They're gonna see you walk up to the hat.
Yeah.
Who's gonna,
let's see how many tickets we have. Maybe we know 5 people who haven't been able to buy a ticket.
Maybe there's another way to word it.
Right. So we will have some donated tickets and we'll figure out how to get them away.
Okay, April 21st is the deadline to turn in any unsold tickets back to the senior center.
It's 2 days from now, right?
Yeah,
Why are you collecting them?
I don't know who gets free lunches. Why would-
so what we decided as a committee, and the other thing is what we decided as, so that we didn't get to the night of, and there was a bunch of tickets out there that weren't sold and just hanging around, I don't
You
know.
got till the 29th, why don't you come to the cutoff on the 27th or something? Try and get as many tickets as you can sold.
What Kim is saying is that the decision by the committee was that the tickets should be turned in on the 21st. I guess the question is, do you have unsold tickets?
Yeah, there's a lot of unsold tickets. I think when we, if my committee friends would join in on this, I think that when we decided the 21st, wasn't it with the idea that we were going to turn in all the tickets to the township at this Friday and then just have the township finish the week out with selling the tickets because we figured we were probably going to be, have only 20 tickets left to sell or something, and that we didn't want people holding on to them where the township couldn't sell them too. We went into it with the idea that we were going to sell out and not have so many unsold tickets when we first made this decision. So now that we know there's so many unsold tickets, I don't think it's a big deal to have people sell them right up until the night of. I think that's how we were feeling.
When do we
about
need to
it.
turn in our tickets that we're holding?
She's saying not to.
I'm saying I don't think we need to. I think
Well,
when
we need to
first-
turn them in at some point, and let you know that they're not sold. And turn in our money.
Well, yeah, I think it was to turn in our money so that we didn't have the money out there.
We need to turn in the unsold tickets too.
Were we supposed to turn in the money as we go along, though?
I did.
That's
I don't
what
know
I did
as
too.
we, I don't know
I
as
think
we
you're
have
supposed to turn it
to.
in as you go along.
That's what I was.
I would think we need to turn in unsold tickets by Wednesday. So that you can,
So by Wednesday, the 26th, you're
Right.
talking about?
we need to turn in our unsold tickets so that somebody can take an accounting of,
Okay, Wednesday, the 26th, I believe that's also when we have our meeting,
Yeah.
on the 26th, so our last meeting.
So we're in agreement with that? The
So
Wednesday,
let's
the
say the
26th,
Wednesday, the
all
26th.
unsold tickets need to be turned in? Okay. So with us going to the senior center on Thursday, Friday, and next Tuesday, I grabbed the binder yesterday because we went out to Williamston in case I could sell any tickets on the fly with that, and I guess I'll be grabbing the binder again. I should grab it today before I leave so I can take it with us tomorrow to East Lansing. Although it doesn't sound like, East Lansing doesn't have lunch. I've already emailed the directors the flyer to post it. So,
I would think, Kim, that
I
you
can
could take
just-
a certain number of tickets, and after that, you can take will call.
yeah. Okay. All right. So volunteers, I've got all the volunteers confirmed. Anyone showing up to help us, we're asking them to wear white shirts and black pants, and we have the lanyards with your name on them. If you don't have white shirt or black pants, just dark pants and a lighter shirt, that's fine.
I was gonna dress like a cowgirl,
What?
get some boots and a hat. Actually, Guy Elsenheimer's trying to talk me into doing it. I told him I don't have any boots or a hat.
What size you
What
wear, you
size
can
foot you
borrow
got?
some of mine. And unbeknownst to me, I was trying to get from the township a thank you card that has their logo on it, and they have an envelope that matches, that shows Bath Township, and to thank the volunteers and the contributors, the silent auction and that kind of thing. And I just wanted one to show the group, and this was a very long time ago. And Karen had, took it upon herself to order stationery with Bath Township Senior Center on it. She thought that was a nice thing to have on hand for Jenna, for her guests that come in, and to send them a follow-up thank you, and she thought it would be good for us too. And I know Elaine has a bunch of thank you cards and that we were gonna use, and maybe we can mix it up a little bit with who we send the more professional thank you card and who we send a more personal one. So that was a nice gesture on Karen's part to do that, to offer that. I think it helps represent the senior center to have a thank you card with our logo on it. The silent auction is going really well. We've got lots and lots of donations.
Yes, I have more donations at my house for you too.
Okay,
But
I'll stop by
At this
afterwards.
point, I'll just hang on to them for right now, till we can get together and go through that stuff. No urgency.
So what about your silent auction items? Do I need to get some sign-up sheets for you?
I think I have some.
Oh,
I'll
you're
let you
gonna
know if I need some.
fill them out? Okay. The school is supposed to be accessible to us at 2 o'clock the day of. The other thing that I've been in communication with Karen about is the township van. She says it is not available to us. So I finally got Ty with Clinton County Transit to respond, and he said for $260, they will offer us a shuttle. And again, we had that plan in mind when we thought we were gonna sell tickets out. And so I told them, as a committee, we decided that was way above what our expenditures wanted to be, and that thank you anyway. And his response back to me a couple days later was that he talked to the person in charge, and they said that they would do it for a donation. And I let him know our ticket sales were very low, and he said, that's okay, you can get back with me at the last minute. So I told him that I would see by this Friday what our ticket sales were gonna be. That's after the Pulse has been out there a little bit, and Duke's advertisement's been out there for a week, and it gets us that much closer to the event, so that people that were thinking about it would come around to do that. And he said that he would do that for a donation, and I thought that was very generous of them. The programs, we initially thought we wanted a deadline of April 7th, but that's been extended to this Friday, the 21st. Cindy, Elaine, and Kelly have been working really, really hard at selling programs and getting the PDF files and all of that.
Yep, I gotta go. I have to be in Grand Ledge to get a child off the bus. Right now, we currently have 12 full pages sold.
Awesome.
And I've got 3 or 4 that are just doing that. I'm gonna get it to you, I'm gonna get it to you, I'm gonna get it to you.
Okay.
I've got 3 or 4 that have paid, but I don't have PDFs from them. I'm probably gonna have to just create something for them. And I've got maybe 1 or 2 that their checks haven't come into the office yet, so
Awesome, that's great.
Doing pretty good. We got the paper, got the ink, so I think we're ready to roll.
Terrific.
Fantastic, thank
Yeah.
you.
Cindy, can I ask you a quick question? When you turn it in there, do you know, are they putting it in the book as that it's advertising, or are they just putting it in as
They're
income?
putting it in as advertising.
Advertising income?
Yep.
Okay.
Because one of them was actually, we had another one that was just a donation to go buy gift cards with, for the silent auction, so that's held separately too. That's not in the ads.
Okay,
Just keeping it separate.
okay.
Do they, Cindy, do they need to have paid to be in the program,
Oh, yeah.
for the advertising?
Well, there's only one that's in kind, well, there's gonna be two that are in kind service.
The what?
In kind service?
No, the ads, the 12 pages of ads have all, you said they hadn't been paid.
There's a few checks that haven't come in yet.
Okay, do they need to come in before they're approved to put in the program?
I'm assuming that they'll pay before they go, and I haven't really thought about it. I've never had difficulty collecting on businesses that are willing to advertise. I've been following up with people. A lot of, you have to understand with small businesses, they do it all. They don't have office help. They don't have somebody to go pull up the PDF and email it to me. They don't have an accountant to cut the check. And most of them are doing it themselves, maybe with one other person in the office. So it takes a long time to get that done. Like Tommy's Pizza, she still can't find her PDF.
Well, and it takes a lot of follow-up too.
Yeah.
It's not just a part of, on their part to get it together, but the effort, the work, the time to go back to them again and again is incredible. You
Yeah.
can't just do it in one cold call. It takes a
Right.
lot of.
One of the
follow-up.
very first ads that I sold, I still don't have his PDF. I might go take a picture of his business and use it. I warned him twice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I got
Take care. Thanks so much for everything. So part of the handout today is a half a page, and that's what I wrote for the bio for Kenny and Dolly. I used some of their verbiage that they offered me and shrunk it down and put some in it there that's my own too.
Oh, this, yeah. Okay.
The silent auction, there's been talk of a basketball that didn't get to the Elvis program for the silent auction. And that basketball was missing and we couldn't find it. And Jean has gotten a basketball to MSU and they're gonna sign it before the event. And we are super excited about auctioning that off.
And we did check online, and we found one that was, I think, 270 or 80, and one that was 199, so I'm suggesting that we start the bids at $100.
Thank you.
Elaine has a
I haven't got the basketball yet, though. But
Elaine?
Did we ever find the Afghan?
No,
What?
nothing was said about it. No,
The
no word
Afghan.
about it. The
No.
missing Afghan.
Is it an Afghan or a quilt?
It's an Afghan.
Okay,
There was a Ripple, I heard it was the Ripple one.
okay.
I think that's it.
Well, before we go too far, I want to go back to the
Can you speak
will
into
call.
my-
I'm sorry. I'd like to go back to the will call ticket sales.
Yes.
I don't know that, I prefer the way that it's being handled.
I don't know how else to do it. It's a last minute decision.
Yeah, I know. But can we come up with something? I mean,
What
Linda
are you suggesting?
Linda cannot sell the tickets herself?
No, she doesn't, no, it's Pierce Karen doesn't want them involved. This is our project.
no, it's telephone calls, Nancy.
I
People that are
understand that.
working can't get in to pay.
She understands
understand all
that.
that.
She's asking about the cooperation and the collaboration with the senior center staff and their ability to help us do this.
Why does she
Event.
have to email me or text me the person's name that wants the tickets so that I have to come into the office and pull the tickets from the binder and put the paper clip on them with the person's name on them? There's Nancy saying, why can't Linda do that? I showed Linda that's what the process is, just so she'd be informed. But the email from Karen said that Linda will transfer the information to Kim so that I can do that.
What
Who
if
gets the
someone wants,
original call? Who gets the original call?
The township is gonna get the call and they're
They
gonna
transfer it to
forward it
Linda.
to Linda.
And
Linda's
Linda's
then
gonna
gonna call
Transfer to
me.
you.
And then I'm going to contact the person and let them know that their tickets are ready, at will call.
She gave me a Post-it note the other day with that person's phone number on it and name.
Right, Jenna emailed that to me, but Jenna didn't.
So we were both calling the same person.
Yes, 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 Jenna could have just done that too, but they're not selling any of our tickets. This is our event.
So
what if
Karen-
someone walks in
Karen's-
person with cash?
Karen's
Like
emails,
at 4:30? If Linda's the only one there, can she sell a ticket or not?
Karen's email says, in order to assist, the ladies can forward the calls to the senior center. I've authorized Linda to work additional hours to answer the phone calls, to check voicemails in order to compile a list that she will provide you with the will call ticket pickup information.
And you is me. It was an email.
And I think that
response
is
to
such a
mine.
backwards
She
way
can
of doing it.
provide you with the will call ticket pickup information. It sounds like maybe she is taking the names.
She is, she's taking the names and the numbers. She's not gonna call them back, however. She's just gonna give us the
Pass the
names and the
information.
numbers.
Yeah, like Jenna did.
Linda will work additional hours to answer the phone calls and check voicemails in order to compile a list that she can provide to you with the will call ticket pickup information.
Right, and that's where I did the form where she
Why
can
do
just
you
put
have
the
to
name.
call them, those people back? If Linda takes their name and number, that should be
And puts the
sufficient.
tickets aside.
And put the tickets aside.
She's not gonna
No-
put the tickets aside.
Well, I mean, there should, okay, that's fine. She doesn't
But
have to.
she's taking
she-
voicemails too.
Because it's a courtesy to let people know that we got their message. That's what
Elaine,
it is.
Yes,
Elaine
Elaine.
had her hand up.
I said, I'll volunteer, you don't have to pay Linda. That's ridiculous.
Well,
You-
it's their
They won't let you
phones.
have access to their phone and their voicemail.
What? What?
Elaine said she would do that. You don't have to pay Linda, but they will not allow us in this office to answer phones and respond to emails.
The next
Can
day,
we-
Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, when you're in, you collect those names and you do follow-up.
I just think it should be a lot more, it should be easier. We should have some cooperation. It should be so much easier.
Right, I just don't understand, we
We're
don't
not
have any
getting the
cooperation.
cooperation from Karen
Perhaps
that
we
we
could
got
get your help
from the
there.
staff for Elvis.
Yeah.
They were very accommodating, and
If I had more
Karen
time,
was-
I would be down there and I would take all those calls, same as Elaine. Get those tickets sold on site, right at that moment.
I just don't understand why they're paying her extra hours in order to answer the phone and give us a list. Why can't she do the work?
Yeah. And what were you saying?
They're not gonna sell the tickets. It's just still gonna be a will call ticket.
No.
Yeah.
No, well,
Well, it's
I
answering-
understand it will be a will call, but I would assign a ticket to that person,
Right,
you know,
right then.
and have it recorded. They don't have to keep calling numbers to get to what they need to know, or,
Yeah, it sounds like 3 phone calls before they get a ticket.
yeah.
They should
Well,
just
there's a
have
lot
three
of
phone
questions, just the 3 people that I talked to on Monday. There was text and going back and forth for a long time. They want to know if it's going to be, if there's going to be bleachers, if it's handicap accessible, is it assigned seats? There's, you know,
First come, first served.
there's a lot of, you know, they come up with a lot of questions, and then they just want to visit because they got somebody on the phone, you know, so.
They're lonely.
Anyway, so it's not just a simple, we scheduled this on Tom King Junk Day. Karen
Shame on
said
you.
that there's 150 calls gonna come into this office the week of Tom King Junk Day. I had no idea that it was gonna be so awful for us to schedule it on Tom King Junk Day. I've never been, I don't know what it is, but because we did that, we don't have access to the fire department for the parking lot. We don't have, you know, they're inundated with their own things, you know, with their own phone calls, and it's a real burden on the township for us. to
Perhaps it would have
schedule
been
that.
more effective if Karen had told us to stay away from that day because it was Tom King Junk
Well,
Day.
as soon as we
Would it?
realized that, I told Dennis, write that at the top of the list of the business plan. Do not schedule it on Tom King Junk Day again, for a lot of reasons, but anyway. And so when you sell tickets for, you know, venues anymore, people go online with the Wharton Center, they click on the seats, they send their credit card, they got their tickets in an email right away. This is so inconvenient for people to have to come all the way out to Bath to get the tickets, then they have to come all the way to Bath again for the performance, and then they have to be here between 8 and 5, and then there's, you know, maybe at the township, maybe at the senior center. You know, it's a lot of stuff for people to mess around with nowadays, and people want it easy, they don't want it harder.
Right.
And we don't have any way of giving them an assigned seat, you know.
Well.
It's a small town event that we're trying to make big.
The ticket numbers be seat number.
We're not
We-
changing anything like
We
that right now.
can't, we can't do that because.
The seats aren't numbered.
Well, the seats are numbered, but we don't have any way of saying, well, somebody wants row S, seat 1 or 2 or whatever. We don't have any way of,
No, just tell them you don't, you get
a
what you
grid, yeah.
Why can't they take credit cards in the office?
They do at the desk, but they won't.
They won't do it for us.
You know, I think that the
It's like saying
small
the
number
band
of
isn't
tickets
available
that
to
we've
us. Why
sold,
not? They pay
it's
us.
probably a good thing that we don't have assigned seats.
Right.
Because this way, people can all sit down front.
Yeah.
It would be nicer for the entertainers.
Yeah, hopefully everyone will snuggle up and it'll feel like we're having a great time as a small group. And that, you know, sit in the back and have all the extra space for sure. I think it's gonna be lovely and I'm super excited about it and I hope that Duke, you know, can spread the word for us and,
There are only 2 coolers. One for the senior center has one, and the other maintenance has one. So I am going to pick them up at the senior center on Saturday because she said they should be done with them a little after 12. So I'm going to pick up the coolers and pick up the cookies. So now I know I can't get into the school until 2. So I will,
the contract says 12 and I've got to call in with John Pichette about, I said, I don't, the entertainers wanted us to have it accessible by 2. So, I can confirm that with
can
you
you
later
confirm
this
what time
week.
we can get into the school? Okay.
Because the contract does say 12, but I told them that we didn't have to have access till 2 through an email. And, he and I are gonna talk yet this week.
Okay.
At the door, are we gonna be able to have access to a credit card machine? Then that needs to be, or is it?
We already
It's
said
on the-
cash or
It's on the
checks.
ticket and the flyers, cash and, or check.
Okay.
I mean, it's right underneath the silent auction part, but I think it's kind of understood.
All right, one more question.
Yes.
Can our phones direct a phone call to go to an outside number?
Like a call forwarding?
Yeah, like a call forwarding.
You can do that, I think.
You think so?
Mine was hacked, and it did it automatically to some number I never heard of. So I know it can be done.
Through the township?
I don't know.
What are you thinking, Nancy?
I'm thinking about having calls routed to, say, me. I'll sell tickets. Rather than.
But from which
here
number?
to here.
But
Pardon me?
from which number? Like, we can't do the township.
From whatever, when they take a call in here for ticket sales, rather than transfer it down to the township, or to the senior center, who then makes notes and so on, transfer it right directly to me, or whoever wants to do it. I can do it. Trying to come up with a better method, this is just sucks.
It's just a week and a half.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not 2 months, it's a week and a half of,
So,
Some
but they're still gonna
inconvenience.
hire her for more hours. And is
just
that-
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And is it gonna cease after that? Or they're gonna keep her on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday?
Oh, no, it's just for next week.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just next week, just for ticket sales.
And what will they do with phone calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays?
I'm assuming
Exactly.
they'll have to answer them.
Oh, they'll send them to the senior center and be put into voicemail.
Yep.
And those voicemails will have to be returned.
And that's what Linda's doing, is going, checking voicemails.
That's one of the
Correct.
things
Yeah.
I've asked her to
So-
do, yeah.
What about Saturday morning when people call Friday night?
Right.
Oh, we can tell them that they cannot forward any messages on Friday? Just,
No.
well, you know, if I,
Well, the senior center is gonna be open for Town King Junk Day. And so anything Friday night, we could get Saturday morning.
we can get,
Well, the senior center can get, I'm assuming that Jenna's working Saturday.
You think Jenna's working Saturday?
I don't,
Tom King
there's
Junk
no
Day.
reason for them to work, her
They
to
were s-
work unless she wants to. I mean, I
I
don't,
don't see that office open on Saturday.
no.
Well, they're having, Mary is providing lunch to the
Lunch.
workers.
Correct.
Oh, she
But
is.
that's lunch, but
That's the
that's
kitchen.
nothing, yeah.
But the way Karen presented it was all the staff is expected to work 6 hours on Saturday.
Well,
And that's why we don't have anyone
She
available to
may
help
be
us.
working, but I don't know that she's gonna be working in her office. She might be out
Right.
directing traffic to the computer's spot instead of the tire truck.
Well, everything that we've advertised is $20 in advance, 25 at the door. So it's not like people, if they don't get a hold of somebody Saturday morning or Friday night, they're gonna know that they can still get tickets at the door. So they're not totally wondering, what do I do now? Because I really wanted to go and I didn't
And
get
if
them
somebody
done
comes
sooner.
to the ticket office and says, I tried to get a hold of you, then sell them for $20.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
not maybe offer that right now?
Anything else on the agenda for that event,
I
Kim?
did.
Great job.
That was
We-
a lot. Thank
Was a
you
lot.
very
We,
much.
we're lucky to have you as our leader. You're so organized. I appreciate it. Thank you. An update on the architect, this contract has not yet been signed with the architect. I wanted to discuss collaborations under new business with Karen here, because the woman from the Clinton County Transit Authority wants to come and meet with us and talk about ways that we can collaborate together around transportation for the seniors at the senior center. And I really feel uncomfortable having that conversation with Melissa, until we understand from Karen exactly how we would have input into a collaboration with a staff that we're not allowed to talk to. And it seems to me that that work should be done between us and the senior center and the Transportation Authority. And until Karen defines what she understands collaboration to be in our role in it, I am not willing to have that conversation. I did invite her to the May 17th meeting because I thought that we could work this out today, but Karen's not here, so I don't know what to do about that. Any suggestions?
Does she want to meet with our board?
The Transportation, Clinton County Transit Authority wants to meet with us, yes?
But
Then why
Karen,
can't we schedule it?
Well, we can, but I don't want to waste her time.
Why would we be wasting our time?
She wants to talk about planning for the future and what kinds of programs and what kinds of services, our seniors could benefit from, and how we could collaborate with her to make that possible. We can't collaborate with her and our seniors at the senior center because we don't have a relationship with the senior center. The staff doesn't work with us, so it doesn't work to collaborate between us and an agency if we can't collaborate with the senior center.
But we better know
We
the
were told.
services that could be used. Karen's not going to know.
It's not Karen who wants to know.
you're missing,
What am I missing?
you're missing the point that we can meet with Clinton Township Transit, but it doesn't mean anything unless we get some cooperation from the township and the staff at the center.
Like if we found out that they could do a bus route and pick up 10 people every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we just found out really good information, but we're not allowed to talk to anyone at the township staff to tell them that.
Yeah,
We
And
can't
even
do
if we
that.
tell them that, they weren't part of the process, so they're not really motivated to follow through with.
It's
what-
our program, not their program. It's you, not us. It's you, not them. It's us, not them. She doesn't, Karen, I told Karen in an email that she has lost that there's no team here anymore. It's all the Senior Services Advisory Board versus the senior center, and that we used to be a team, and that we need to be a team, and that we need to work together. And I thought having this conversation about collaboration would help to solidify and help us to understand what her expectations of us are in working with the senior center. And she's not here today.
We were told we couldn't talk to.
Could you
any-
speak into the microphone, please?
We were told by Karen, and I was there when you were, that we were told we could not talk to anybody at the senior center, any staff
Any staff?
at all, period. No talking to them.
My question is, why are we here as a board now?
Yes.
Good
We
question.
we can go ahead and pull this fundraiser off, but after that, I think we need to have some serious conversations with somebody, whether it's the Board of Trustees, and find out what the heck we are supposed to do. And it sounds to me like we can do nothing.
And I agree with you 100%, and I'm waiting till the event is over, until this contract is signed with the architect.
Okay.
And then we need to have that conversation.
Okay, I am with you, and I will follow
We have a
you.
great strategic plan. The strategic plan is dated, it's specific, and we've followed through. In the last year and a half, we've made great strides to fulfill our strategic plan. So that's what the board was for.
Okay,
Along
but
with-
if the strategic plan doesn't get any attention from anyone, why bother?
Because we have to show good faith. We have to show enthusiasm and
Why-
excitement.
why
And
would-
we've done that. We've grown the center. It's huge.
We-
It's
oh.
beautiful. You know, there's a great.
I don't know which of you were on the board, I don't remember how long ago it was, but at one point,
Thanks to
they
Larry
tried to
Gordon.
get rid of us. They tried to dissolve the senior advisory board.
Why?
I
Well,
don't
they're
know.
doing a
I
good
don't
job
know
of
if
it right now.
I don't know if it was
They're doing a good
Karen
job.
specifically, or whether it was, but when we first got back, I think it might have been after COVID, they tried to dissolve us. We had to fight to stay in it.
Well, we're fighting right now.
Marie fought to keep us.
So who oversees this? Who's the head of this?
We are responsible to the Township Board of Trustees. That is who we work for. We work
So why
for-
do we have to go through Karen?
Because Karen works for them.
Karen has been hired, and it seems to me, I'm new, but that everybody has abdicated any responsibility except for Marie and I, and they just drop it on Karen, and she makes all the decisions. If you watch the board meeting from Monday this week, I raised hell because there was a proposition to have a lawyer at every meeting, and the proposition came back from the lawyers, and it stated, recommended by the Board of Trustees of Bath Township, and I knew nothing about it. And I said, we have a problem here on this board when you just stated that the board recommended X, and I know nothing about it. And Marie said, I know nothing about it, and the rest of the board hung their head and said nothing. So there was a round-robin meeting, and this has been going on, and this is what Cindy, Rick, myself, and Marie, and I was assaulted. I was brought into the offices here with a lawyer saying I had confidential information that I gave out. I did not. I gave out information, and listen to this, folks, that they were emails shared in the board that was public. We work for the public taxpayers of this township, period. The elected people hire Karen. She works for us. She is a paid employee of the trustees. And she makes decisions that she says comes from the Board of Trustees, and I never knew about it, and I was elected. There's a problem there,
Yes.
huge.
If she works for the Board of Trustees, why is it that we cannot come to the Board of Trustees for what we want?
We can.
You can.
And I
But
think
because-
we need to.
You have to
We
get on
have
the
to.
agenda.
Yeah, we just have to get on the agenda, and Karen sets the agenda.
And Karen sets the agenda. I don't know if I can get anything I want as a board trustee that I want on the agenda, and this is one
So
of
we
them.
can always speak at public comment before the meeting and public comment. If something that's related, if it's a comment related to the agenda, we can speak before the meeting. If it's a comment related to something that's just township business that's not on the agenda, we can speak after the meeting. And when you speak after the meeting, you're allowed 3 to 5 minutes, and you're allowed discussion. So the trustees can ask you a question, you can ask them a question, you can have a dialogue. That's not possible at the first 2 minutes, but it's possible at the last 3 minutes. And the other way is to get on the agenda. And we can request to be on the agenda. I've requested to be on the agenda for the first meeting in May for the Senior Services Advisory Board. Because according to our strategic plan, we should be turning in a CIP proposal at the end of the month. That's what we asked for the architect for. That's why that was the purpose of the architect. We have to have the data, we have to have the information, we have to have the numbers, and she's failed us. And so the only response, the only way we can get the information, and even then, I'm not sure we can, is to go to the trustees, because so I've asked for the Senior Services Advisory Board to be on the agenda for the first meeting, scheduled meeting in May.
And when is
Now, if
that,
Karen
Judy?
has this information, shouldn't the Board of Trustees also have this information?
What information is that?
Attendees.
Of course, she should be
everything.
providing that to them, of course. That's what Cheryl said.
Right.
Sherry said that the first thing she asked her when she came on board as a trustee member was for the data from the senior center, not just for 2022 and 2023, but prior to the pandemic, during the pandemic, and post-pandemic. And she's not been given anything.
Sounds to me like it should be coming to the boards before it even goes to her. She works for them.
Well, she does, but she has the information that is necessary to answer the questions.
It
So you
seems
have
like
to
that's
ask
the
her
only place to
first.
go get information.
Okay, what is, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What's the date of the meeting that we're supposed to be on the agenda?
It's the 1st of May.
It's the first meeting in May. I don't have my calendar
It's the
with
1st,
me,
I
but
think.
I'll tell you in
It's
just a minute.
Monday. I think it's the 1st.
So the meeting was, the meeting that they just had was Monday this week.
17th.
The
So
17th, so it's the 1st
It is
and
the first.
3rd.
It is the 1st of May.
1st of May, yeah.
So May 1st,
And they
At
meet
7?
at 6 o'clock. They meet at 6 o'clock.
6?
It's on a Monday, huh?
Yep.
Here.
Okay, I can miss my Monday, euchre.
Are you sure? Don't commit. You're being
6
recorded.
PM.
So we need to get on the agenda.
I've asked to be on the agenda.
I
Okay.
will too.
I asked for the Senior Services Advisory Board to be on the agenda. I asked yesterday, because we have to have, if we're going to meet the deadlines that are presented to the board next week, I mean, at that first meeting for the CIP, we have to have the data. She can't stall any longer. She has to give us the data.
And if she doesn't, then what?
Then we can't write the request. We can't,
It just drops there?
well, I mean, the deadline for the CIP is going to be the end of May, and if we don't have that information by the middle of May, we can't write an application. I mean, it's not a simple application.
I get all
It's a
that.
very complicated application. I mean,
I get all that. I'm just saying that somebody needs to hold her responsible.
it's true. I mean, it's true.
I will make every effort to be there on the 1st.
Thank you. Okay, back to the agenda. Superintendent's report. How about a report from the Board of Trustees?
Let's, I want, and I've talked to Nancy and I have talked about documentation. So anytime we make a request to Karen, we need to document it. Anytime we make a phone call to Karen or the center or anywhere, we need to document.
How about emails instead, so that's a paper trail?
Well, I still want, so we can, okay, emails are fine, but we need a piece of paper
Yep.
or that says, I emailed Karen on Monday and I have no response and it's been 2 weeks. I left a phone call to Mary on Tuesday and I haven't got any
You're not
response.
supposed to be associating with Mary.
I'm just threw that out there as a name, but it's all documentation so that we have valid information, or when they come to us and say, well, when did you call her? You can bring out this piece of paper or on your phone or your notes and say, I called on Monday, April 7th, Tuesday, April 9th, so that it's all documented.
All right, what's going to happen to us if we talk to these people that we're not supposed to talk to?
Oh, I'm not talking to him.
Well, what would happen?
It would be
It's
reported reported to Karen that we spoke to them, that we were disrespectful. I mean, Karen believes that we are disrespectful to the staff, and that's why she doesn't want us to speak to them.
That's exactly what you were talking about. This is how I
Yes.
was able to get that information, because And you can see at the bottom, I gave copies to several people, several of the board members.
I mean, I've reiterated several times to Karen in emails that I believe that every interaction that I've seen between the members of the Senior Services Advisory Board and the staff at the senior center have been complimentary, kind, encouraging, and graceful. I mean, gracious. And for her to say that we're disrespectful, she needs to come to the center and see the interaction and have lunch with us. That's what I told her in an email yesterday.
I totally agree.
And every time you follow up with this, Dennis, or make another request, another piece of paper. And we're probably all going to get blasted for this meeting, so be prepared.
I'm already blasted.
Okay.
So this is the last proposal that we turned in for the capital improvements project for the expansion of the senior center. It was turned in 2017. What's interesting, and I'll bring the data to the next meeting, is that we've turned a proposal in for the expansion numerous times, and money has been committed on the part of the planning board to move forward with architects, with engineers, with drawings, and with facility designs, and also with $495,000 at one point budgeted over 5 years. And the township board never takes it up. They never move on it. And the reason that they don't, and I spoke to the township board about this with them about this about a month ago, wasn't it, Sherry, when I said I finally had an aha moment. I figured out why you can't make any decisions and why you can't move forward. Generally, typically, the township board, at the beginning of their service in 2022, would have adopted a strategic plan. This is the work that we are committed to for the next 4 years, just like we developed a strategic plan. We did a 2-year plan. They don't have a plan. They haven't this board, since being elected in 2022, has never adopted a strategic plan. So they don't know what their position is on expanding the senior center. They don't know what their position is on the nature trail. They don't know whether or not they want a farmer's market at James Cousins Park or down at Wishwasher Park. They can't make any decisions because they don't have a plan. So about 6 weeks ago, I said, oh my God, this is my aha moment. You guys have to have a plan. You don't have a plan. You can't make progress. You can't move forward. This is your fault. I mean, this is the problem. Fix it. And so they grumble at me a little bit. They always grumble at me, and I don't care. Last night, Monday night, I'm sorry, Karen said, it was on the agenda, and it was in her comments, that in the next month, she's going to prepare a draft strategic plan for them to look at. And what she will do in order to prepare this plan is provide them with the work that her staff is accomplishing currently, and what their plan is what their work plan is for the rest of the year, and that she's going to give them that as a basis for their strategic plan. Now, in my opinion, this is my opinion, that's her work and what work she wants done. They are a board of trustees. It is their job to tell her what they want done.
Yes.
And so at least she's she's listening. She heard very clearly someone from the community challenge them to develop a strategic plan and move forward. And she's going to put it before them, her recommendation, and have them move on that. And my comment to them at the end of the meeting was that I certainly hope there will be public input into that process. There are really a lot of, they're better than watching wrestling on television on Monday nights.
Yeah.
Come to the board meeting and see
You should
real
look at
live
the video
wrestling on Monday
of what
nights.
happened Monday. It was
Okay,
outrageous.
just wait. It's your turn. It's a time for a report from the Board of Trustees.
Oh, you don't want my report?
No, it's your turn. It's on the agenda. We always have a report from our partner.
Superintendent's report, yes.
No, BOT report, that's you.
It seems totally dysfunctional. The abuse of the public from the board was outrageous. Look at the YouTube video. There were things that were there that like I said, they want to hire a lawyer to come to every board meeting and sit there, et cetera. And it was from the lawyers stating that the Board of Directors, or Bath Township Board of Trustees, wished to have a lawyer there. And I said, excuse me, I don't know anything about any of this. So Marie and I are left out. And that's illegal. So I might want to look into see if Jeffrey Feiger can come and sit at our board meeting. And the township will.
$600 a night is what
Yeah.
the proposal.
Oh, yeah, $600 a night they want to spend to
meeting,
have a
yeah.
lawyer there. And it won't help with the rudeness that I watched Monday from a certain board member or two, particularly, that were outrageous. And Ryan has actually been now reported to the police for his conduct at the meeting. That's how bad it got. Totally threatened Rick Curtis at the board meeting. So that's how contentious this crap has become. So it's
disheartening.
It's very-
And the reason I came to my aha moment about a strategic plan that is missing from the board is because in order to do the capital improvement plan, you're supposed to base your project on goals and objectives that are priority for the township board and that are addressed in their strategic plan. So when I asked the planner, if they don't have a strategic plan, how are we supposed to, what are we supposed to gear our proposals to? He said, well, in '21, they adopted a comprehensive plan. That the township board approved this comprehensive plan that was developed by the planning board. And that we should try to meet perhaps we could meet goals and objectives that were in the comprehensive plan. And I read the comprehensive plan through completely before they adopted it, and I went to the planning board because there were so many problems with it, and the data was so old. And it was actually after Jason Armoreggi and I challenged the planning board to rewrite the strategic plan, the comprehensive plan before they turned it in to the board for approval, and to use current data, which they did. They changed it, and they used current data. So in here, it says, as action number 6, under Goal 1, Objective 3, Goal 1, honor the rich history of Bath Township through context, sensitive development, and policy decisions in order to foster a stronger sense of community. This was written by a professional. Objective 3, strengthen Bath Township's position as an ideal community to live, work, and play. Action number 6, consider future options for renovation, new buildings, or combination of the senior center and the community center. It's the only time in the in the comprehensive plan that the senior center is mentioned.
Where did you get that? Are there more copies of that?
No, you get it at the front desk. You just ask them to make you a copy of it.
I'll do that. You want me to? Yeah, sure.
Anything else to report, Sherry?
Not really.
Is there any other public comment, or would the board members like to make a comment after the meeting?
No, thank you.
I'll call for adjournment.
I second it.
Yeah, third.
Meeting adjourned. We'll
Thank
meet
you.
again on May 17th. See you at the event.
You'll see me May
You can
1st.
turn off your microphone, please.
Kim, I